Here we go.
Here we
Here we are.
are.
Here we
Woo.
are.
Get
Well,
found.
and be seen. Welcome to another edition.
Here we are. Second episode.
Second. That feels good, Monty. That feeling good about life.
That's great. Last time we said imperfect action, and we were just saying before the show, if we weren't doing imperfect action, we wouldn't be started.
That's true. That is a fact. That
Absolutely.
is a fact. And now you notice we have whoa at the bottom. Yes.
Whoa.
Whoa. That's for our second edition right there. That's where we are. Rocking out.
Having a good time.
Having a good time. Welcome. Hope you had a great weekend, Monty.
I did. Hope you did too. And everyone else out there.
Yes. And if you're chiming in, let us know where you're chiming in from. If you're in London, if you're in Australia, if you're in South Africa, if you're in Texas, wherever you're at, let us know where you're chiming in from.
And if you're seeing this on the replay, put it in the comments.
That's right. Hashtag replay. But if they're live too, Monte, hey, put in hashtag live. Let us know. We want some interaction.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That's right. That's how we roll. And this is fun, Monty. I'm really excited about our second edition or our second episode. I'm surprised I didn't say second season, second episode.
Almost. We'll get there.
Almost. We're going to get there for sure. So really excited about our topic today, Monty.
Topic today, who needs to make videos?
Who needs to make videos? That is a great question.
Well, I mean, that would be everyone, but specifically, what do you think? Who's top list for needing to make videos?
Needing to make videos. Well, if you're one who wants to show up online, and if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a multi-talented entrepreneur, if you're a small business owner, if you want to get yourself up online, you need to get a video. You need to get video done. And there's different aspects of video, and we're going to talk about that today.
Right on. Cool.
Right on. Who we got? Do we have anyone in the comments? Let's see who we have. Teresa says Boston. Boston chiming in from Boston. Let us know where you're chiming in from. Hey, T. What's going on? But yeah, Monty, videos are so important because, it's such a way to get seen. And, of course, with the internet, you go through different phases and there's different time frames. Like if you're online now, you can't live like it was 2015. You got to live like it's now. And videos is one of the hottest, I won't even say trends. It's one of the hottest things online right now. One of the hottest vehicles that you can use to show yourself online, to show up and show out. Yeah. And if you want to reach clients, if you want to make an impact, if you want to influence people, you want to be able to show up on video.
So would you agree that, it used to be that the picture was worth 1,000 words. And so therefore the picture is what brought people's attention, like in newspapers and things. And now we've evolved on where the video is worth 1,000 pictures. Right.
It's true. It's interesting. I guess we're going to have to change that up a little bit, or just kind of make another variation of that quote. Because video, it's true. Pictures are very important. Pictures are used, like, for instance, if I found recently that, even carousels, like Instagram has carousels where for those who don't know carousels, it's like you click if you're on a platform and you look at the feed and you click the button, you can slide to different parts of the picture. You get more views that way towards your particular platform. That's kind of coming back hot, but still, it doesn't beat out videos. You still need videos, and it shows up more than your stills that you put up online.
Right.
So super important.
Well, and I'd also say, like video is more, I don't know, what people read and speak differently. So if you put words on paper and you hand it out to 10 people, you're going to get 10 different variations of what you were trying to say, or at least 5.
Right.
So that, and they don't correctly interpret your signs. So how does video improve that over text?
That's a good question. Wow. How does it improve that over text? Now, video is cool because you have so many different aspects, and I'm like, wow, would this be like a psychology thing? I don't know, but when it comes to showing up on video, there's a lot of parts of you that you show. Like text is important, pictures are important, but it's only a certain dimension. It's one or two dimensional.
Mm,
Videos are multi-dimensional. It's three times, four times. Like even me moving my hands now and leaning into the camera and leaning back and all the different expressions that I can show. Can't do that on a text. I can type it, I can say it via text, or I can show the still picture, but that's all you're gonna get. If I do it on video, you're gonna get all of that. And here's the thing, even you know, we take in content differently. Some even if you're watching it slowly. Sometimes I'm watching a video, I have to slow it down because some people are like me, they might speak fast. You know, sometimes I have to speed it up because my time's short. Even if I do that, I'm going to get an aspect of those dimensions that I'm talking about, the multi-dimension.
right. Ah, that's cool. So, like, what kinds of things do you use in your videos to emphasize?
Mm. To emphasize, I like that. You just said emphasize. I like that. That's a great question. So for me, I'm very conscious of how I express. You know, for me as an introvert, and that's even me as an introvert. You know, naturally, I'm not always this expressive, but I know that when I show up on camera, I need to turn myself up times 10.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna say that again, times 10. You know, because it takes that, because I'm able to show up bigger and the message that I'm giving can resonate more. There are different things that I'm creating when I do that. I'm creating feeling, I'm creating emotion. So if I'm expressing something to you, if I'm telling a story, I got to bring you through that journey. Like I love reading blogs. I can read a blog and understand someone's story, but if I'm doing the video, I'm expressing my different emotions, and you can see, you can hear, you can sense. Even if I'm speaking, even if I tell a story and I pause, if I'm even slowing down to express that specific emotion, you could experience all of that. I guess you could compare it to maybe this is a bad analogy, but it's like going to the movies. You're not going to go to movies to get a text, although you may want to see the credits at the end, right? But you want to experience all the storytelling. You could experience the music. You could experience the pauses when someone speaks. You could experience the inflections when someone's gets higher or lower, which can kind of demonstrate authority. You know, you can sense when someone's sad. You can sense when someone's happy. Where if I text it, I have to explain all that. I was this, I was that. I can tell a story and it's still powerful, but if I'm doing it on video, whew, 10 times as powerful.
Yeah, and 10 times as quick then, since you don't
Right.
have to explain and set up the scene. It's all kind of absorbed just right there in the moment.
Right. Here's another cool thing too, Monty. So if I'm having a conversation with you, just like we're doing now, you know, people can chime in. I can have real-time interaction. So if someone types a comment in, I can respond to that person like Teresa did. I can respond to her. And there's more of a dialogue. That's way better than just getting a text or watching a picture or
Right,
still,
right.
you know?
Absolutely. So what I'm getting out of this is that, and I see this too, is that when we send a text or we send an email or we send words, and then the person comes back and like, well, did you mean this? No, 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 I meant that. Oh, you meant like that? No, no, that. It's a back and forth thing. But in the video, like you were saying, if I want to emphasize, I can make those pauses. I can give more information in a shorter amount of time, and it communicates stronger.
Right. I love that. Ooh, right there. Ooh, stronger communication, stronger.
Yeah,
And that's
stronger
what you need
connection.
online. Strong connection. Because you think about it, you know, when people are online, I mean, I like telling people this, and I crack myself up too. You know, people are in the bathroom now. People used to be in the bathroom with their TVs. Now they're in bathrooms with
With
their
their
phones.
phones. Yep.
you know, and you want to grab people's attention because people are scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. But if you can get their attention with a video, that's much more powerful than all the different pictures, all the different texts that they're seeing. They're getting so much information in, no matter what age you are.
Yeah, multi-dimensional information.
Multi-dimensional information. Right,
Yeah.
right.
Sometimes you're sending a signal and they're receiving it, but there's no conscious effort of that.
Yes. It's very subconscious, and a lot of people, they're kind of just scrolling to pass the time or to be entertained or to escape or to get information. Like 2 years ago, if people wanted to get information, they'd go to Google. That's not happening as much anymore. It's still happening, don't get me wrong. It's still an avenue, but people can still go through their Instagrams or still go on Facebook to get information. They could just query something in, type it in, get the query, and get the video and watch the video. Like if people want to hear about the presidential election, they'll type the name in and get all that information. If there's something that's going on like right now, like unfortunately, if something happens in our country or in the world and it's a sad event or it's a scary event, you could type it in, query it in, and watch the live video.
Right. Yep. Yep. Videos are definitely important. Very important.
They are, and it's a time. And if you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, you want to be one who's getting on board with that. If you can't do it, get someone to help you to do it. Get someone to coach you through it, or get someone who can do the service for you, a done for you service or a done with you service, because it's important. You don't want to miss out. You don't want to miss out on it.
Yeah.
It's happening in real time.
That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing, real time.
Real time, live.
So one before I move on, I just want to say is the inflection part, that giving in a video. So let's just say, let's just take our title, for instance, get found and be seen.
Right.
So I can say that to you in a multitude of ways, and the emphasis is different. If I say get found and be seen, it means one thing. But if I was to say get found and be seen,
Right.
it means another thing. And then again,
Right.
get found and be seen.
Right.
So that's, and you put that onto words, and you're going to have to type several sentences out to explain what that difference is between those things. But just by one little inflection, and I've changed the output.
You changed the output, and you also created such an emotion with each way you said it.
Right. And yeah, it's emphasizing different things.
Right.
So even though I'm not changing the message, the signal is a little different.
Right. And I find, Monty, that, when one does that, you're able to go in that direction of mastering what you're doing more. Like if I want to get better at marketing, if I'm trying to get my brand out there and I test out, we like to say test like mad scientists, right? I could test it out and keep trying different ways and have fun with it. You gotta have fun.
Absolutely.
You know why I said that? Have fun.
Have
See how I emphasize that? See what I did right there?
Or find something different.
Or find something different. But if you can do that, you're growing. That accelerates your growth. And if you want to go in that direction of, and we encourage that, if you're doing something, I look at this as an art form, because can you bear with me? I got my artist background,
Yes,
so
sir.
I look at a lot of things as art. And so if I'm approaching it in that way, I'm getting better. I'm mastering it. I'm treating it more like a craft. I'm treating it more like an art form. And I'm just going to get more and more better at it. And therefore, I'm going to get better results, but also I can help people who want to learn how to do this. I'm in a better position to help people to be able to do it, because I'm using more of my brain doing it. I'm not just doing it mindlessly. I'm doing it creatively.
Nice. I like it.
Like that?
I like it. Yes, sir. See, I'm not in that big creative side. I've been on the logic side, but I have strived really hard in the art of communication.
Right.
So that's my one art area, is in communication, and I strive constantly to improve myself and get better at understanding other people's perspectives and learning how to communicate better every day.
Right, it's so important, because there's so many different layers, and now with technology, and I mean, people are afraid of, there's a big talk about AI and different things like that, which I get it and I respect. Reality is, as we get older and as we move on in time and history, things are going to evolve more and more and more. So if we could understand these patterns and understand, even our human state and how we could tackle these things, I think it's very helpful using our logical side and using our creative side and learning from it. Like I love, you're a great communicator. You communicate really
Thank
well, and you're like you're artist at it. I could say, you know what I mean?
you for
In the
that.
sense where you're creative and you're always looking for ways to say something different ways. And that's what I appreciate about you. You helped me out with that, and I'm the artist.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. Well, it's a two-way street.
Two-way street.
That's
Two-way street.
awesome.
And oh, by the way, I could also say, get found, be seen, baby.
You
See the extra
bet.
word I put on there?
That worked. Sounded
you know,
good.
that kind of fires someone up.
I tell you, this video stuff has been game changing for me.
Nice.
I have problems getting words down on the paper because I'm trying to communicate so well. And
Mm,
I put it down on paper and I read it and I'm like, that might not come across the way I want it to. And so I readjust it and I'll readjust it forever.
yeah. Yeah.
So, but if I just I just jot down some thoughts and then I just talk and I just let my body language and my facial expressions and my inflections and all those different things fill in those gaps that I'm having troubles putting onto paper.
Right.
And so I'm able to put out my Monday moment with Monty in a matter of minutes rather than spending a couple of days putting it together ahead of time.
Yeah. I love that.
So videos are cool.
They are, and you could do so much with them. You could reverse engineer your process,
Ooh,
and so when I'm coaching people, like I like to say, it's like having a conversation. Like you and I, we're having a conversation right now,
yep.
and we chop it up. We're laughing, we're cracking up, we're talking about different experiences, we're talking about our weekend. You know, our goal is we want to give value, but we're also building the relationship, and so we're bringing those two things together. And so with video, we get that opportunity to do that. And I'm impressed because we're coming out at a time where out of the pandemic and everything, and that was hard. People not kind of people got sick of the screen. People got sick of being on Zoom calls and different things like that. But in the space we're in, we love it. We love the on camera thing. But even folks who may not be comfortable and may not love it, it's helpful for them as well. I love this time that we're in right now. We're kind of coming from that foggy of a time, and we're in a time where we're kind of transitioning into different stages of our lives, different stages in history. With video, there's so much we can do. And I believe we're just at the cusp of it. We're just at the beginning. We're just at the beginning of it with video. So when I'm coaching people, I like to say, just have that conversation, have that dialogue, start there. And even if you're doing it with yourself, practice in the mirror, practice on the phone, and then record and watch yourself and listen to yourself. Those things are helpful as far as getting better. For those who are interested and may want to know, how do I do this? How do I get involved? And how do I get started with recording myself and getting online and getting over my fear of being on camera?
Yep. That's what I did. I just started recording and looking at it and making sure, you got to be careful though, because if you
Right.
record it and watch yourself, you can nitpick yourself to death. You're like, oh, I'm never going on camera if you sit there and nitpick yourself. But the key for me was just look at it, make sure, okay, was there anything there that would disrupt my communication? I didn't look at how I looked. I didn't look at how I sounded. I didn't look at anything other than, did my message come across clear?
Right.
And so then I just went ahead and posted. And after a couple of times, it's like, oh, hey, no, nobody knocked on my door and said, God, you're horrible. Stop posting. It turned out okay.
Right.
And then each time you get more and more comfortable with it, and it's not that big of a deal.
Right. And and that's important. That's part of your journey. Because if you have that journey, you go through it, you can share that journey with other people who might need more help than you. And for some people, they don't have to go live. They could just record themselves and keep that recording for themselves and keep getting better and keep training themselves. It's interesting. I was on this movie set. One of my favorite stories, we have our story. We like to tell our stories. One of my favorite stories in my experience is when I was on a movie set, and there was one actor in particular. His name was Ken Jeong, and I'm standing just like this, and he's right to my right and back of me, and he's practicing his lines, but he's practicing his lines in different ways. Like, and I'm like, is this guy crazy? He's just his personality is just amazing, and his characters that he plays on camera are just amazing. He's like that. He's very comedic. He's hilarious, and he's very extreme with things, and I love it. Um, but the way he practiced different ways amazed me. And I use that principle. I think I even shared this last week. I use that principle in life, but even on camera, practicing different ways and having fun with it, making it such an experience that just makes the whole experience fun for you. You mix it up. You like even when we talked about the inflections, get found, be seen, get found, be seen. You know, that just shows how we are as human beings. We're creative beings. So we could exercise that creativity when we're practicing, even if we're nervous, even if we don't have a lot of experience with it. So I guess I say that to say, like, I want to give Monty, I want to give people permission to try, and have fun, and then that kind of ties into what we talked about last week. Just get started,
Just get
have
started.
fun, Don't worry about failing, and go for it. And if you fail, make the fail look good. Have fun with it.
And do that recording thing where it's just for you. You don't need to show anybody else, just the recording for you. And what you can
Right,
do is all those different inflections, instead of searching for the right way, you can be getting rid of the things that don't work.
right,
So you can go ahead and, instead of stressing over, okay, how do I say this really good? How do I say it even better? How do I just say it? How can I say it 10 different ways?
right,
And weed out the stuff. Oh, that sounded silly. I definitely don't want to say that again. You
right.
know, and at the same time, you're also gonna be, oh, that sounded good. I need to do
Yeah,
that more. And
right,
so it's both sides of the track. You're not just searching for the perfect. You're also identifying that, testing. That's part of
right,
testing. You're learning what doesn't work. And
right,
then if you're in your safe environment, you're just recording it for yourself, then you don't have to worry about and stress over anyone else, you know, judging
right.
you on that.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's interesting. I love what you said right there. I think about my wife and I. We're training each other, and my son. We're gonna train with each other now as far as public speaking. And one of the things she shared with me the other day was, hey, she's like, "Hey, Carl, it was great, but you need to have more energy when you present." And I love that. I took it and I put it in my pocket because that's great feedback. But I took it a step further and said, you know what? Okay, there are times that what that tells me there are times when I don't have energy that I need to have more energy. Yes, but there are times where I deliberately I don't want to have a lot of energy because if I come across that way, I'm gonna break patterns because people may expect me to be a certain way. But if I could break the pattern, that's gonna help them to get the message better. So as I train, how can I get better in that? So kind of when I'm practicing these different things in these different ways, these different methods of practicing, I could correct myself, but I could use that correction and I can veer off and put other things into my arsenal with it as well. That makes sense?
Yep. Yep.
You
All
know,
part of that testing thing.
it's all part of the testing. And I love that. Test it out. That's one of the main things I guess from out of our conversation today. Test, test, test. Weldon. Weldon's in the house. Weldon Gibson says, yes, sir. Great content. Thank you, my friend. Me and Monty, we're
Appreciate it.
doing this, just trying to get found and be seen, trying to teach people how to get found and be seen, Weldon. Shout out to you, my friend.
Well,
But
what else
yes,
we got?
what else we got?
What
Monty,
else
what
we
else do
got?
we have? We talked about inflection. Did we talk about emphasis?
We emphasized a little bit there, pauses for effect. And you've been talking about all the facial expressions, head movement,
Right.
upper body movement, all that good stuff. Keep the energy going.
Keep the okay. That's your dance, Monty. Okay, I see you. I love it. It's we all dance. I love it. Got to
Yeah,
keep moving.
I'm standing. I gotta keep moving all the time. That's why you see me. I'm switching from one leg to the other
I
leg,
love it.
moving around.
I love it.
Yeah, if I sit down, I'll go to sleep.
I hear you. That's how I am. I gotta be up. I'm matching your energy. I'm standing up too. I gotta keep shifting my weight and moving around. Hey Vicky, how you doing?
It's part of the video. You gotta if you
Yes,
that's okay. If you're gonna be taking still shots, you don't have to worry about all this stuff. But if you're gonna be on video, you need to have a little bit of energy.
you gotta have energy. It's funny. We had a little warm up at the beginning too. Before we did this, we did a little dance thing, right? Next time I gotta have music. We did it a cappella. I should bring some music next
There we go. We
time.
really get started.
And it's interesting you said that too, because that's part of being dynamic. Being a dynamic presenter, being a dynamic speaker. You want to be able to give energy with what you're doing. Now, if and to my point earlier, if you don't have if you feel like you don't have energy, ask yourself the question: how can you bring that energy? But also, if you come from a posture of lower energy, how can you use that in your message as well? That makes you more dimensional. Use it all.
Yeah, you don't want to be like the teacher on Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Bueller, Bueller.
Right.
I
No, you don't wanna be like that,
don't want to be like
exactly.
that.
You don't wanna be one-dimensional, and as human beings, that's how we are. We have a lot of music. I'm gonna use my music analogies. We have a lot of music to play in us, and it's up to us to explore those different, avenues, and it's not easy for some of us, right? But we do have it in us, so the question is, how can I unlock these avenues that I have inside of me?
Yeah, and for you, because a lot of times we see these things, these videos on YouTube and all these people that are doing all these things, and it's easy to get caught up with, oh, I got to do it like that.
Right,
I got to be like that. If I want attention, then I got to be like those people.
right,
No, you got to be like yourself.
right. Yeah, show up as you. And authenticity, it's not always an easy thing for people to be authentic, but the reality is there's no one else on this planet like you. And you know that's a part of that's a mindset thing. I'm not going to get into the mindset avenue of things, right, Monty? But part of that is exploring yourself and figuring out what are these things that I like to do. It's interesting because as a coach, as a presence coach, part of that is I help out people with movement, and so when I'm working with my movement students, I'm showing them and telling them all the time, you got some creative insight, you got some creative things about you, and so when they won't believe me, and by the time we finish and they're doing their moves, I'm saying, oh, what you did right there, that's creative. Oh, do that. Oh, I love that. I'm kind of helping them I'm directing traffic. I'm helping them to get to their destination, and it's really cool to see the journey as they're going. And so I think it's important to just to get in that position where you just go. And that's easy to say, hard to do, but that's how you get to your spot of growth. That's how you get that's it's part of the journey. And so my hope too, even when we do this podcast, as we do this podcast, Montes, we can give people that permission because
Yeah,
the
permission
permission is important.
and a little bit of direction sometimes.
Right.
The because if you're making videos or wanting to start making videos, maybe you need to just make a short instead of a full-on blog length video. Maybe you just want
Right.
to do a pre-recorded podcast that you can edit rather than doing
Right.
a live. So find out what level works for you. And
Right.
of course, if you haven't done videos before, it's new. It's going to be scary. You're going to be stretching yourself a little bit, but find that area where you're stretching yourself, but not feeling unsafe,
Right.
so that you
And
can go on with it.
I like that. I love the fact you said unsafe because I believe there's an element where you want to feel safe. Although you're taking risks. When you go online, you're taking risks. It does take risk, yes, but you also want to feel safe and comfortable. You want to have a level of comfortability as well. I'm not talking about skydiving. We're not talking about skydiving here.
No, 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 no.
we're talking about putting out content. Have you ever been skydiving, Monty?
No, no, I
Okay,
don't
me
I
neither.
don't really feel like jumping out of a perfectly good plane is, wise. I don't
I'm
know.
good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. But it's you want to feel safe. So yes, I'd hear sometimes with experts would say, "Hey, don't record yourself. Just go live." They'll say one or the other, and part of that is because they're promoting what they want to promote. It might be a live thing or it might be a webinar or whatever. But the truth of the matter is, it all works, and so that's the safe zone. It all works. You can like you said, pre-record yourself and then watch yourself and then take that risk and post it or send it to friends and say, "Hey, what do you think about it?" Like my wife and I training each other, she's giving me feedback. It's safe to talk with her and get the feedback.
Or get into a Facebook group with, a limited number of people that you've
Right,
associated with a little bit. "Hey, give me some feedback on this."
right. Or join a mastermind or create your own mastermind. Something that's going to help you to move to the next stage. And like you mentioned, get the direction. The direction's helpful and important. But just I hate to sound shallow and say just get up and go. No. But you have to go though. You have to go. But if you need to get get the direction, practice with something safe and take those steps forward.
Yep. Not saying it's easy. Not saying that, "Oh, yeah,
Piece of cake, Monty.
you should just do it," but you should. Just do it.
Right.
But do
And
it
that's
for you. There's where that difference is that you were explaining. You have these people that have made massive amounts of money, and so they're teaching their method, and that works for people that are like them.
right.
And so if you're not like them, then you need to move on and find someone who is more like you so that you can learn from their teachings. But just because
Right.
one person teaches one thing doesn't mean they're wrong or that they're right. It's that they've done this and they've gotten results. And
Right.
so anyone who is like them and wants to do what they did can get results like them.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that someone else couldn't come along and change it up a little bit and get results that are different.
Right. And it's cool because we say this in the artist world too, even dance and art, acting, whatever too. It's like learn the rules, and there's nothing wrong with in that. Once you learn them, break them. You know, see how you could bend the rules and explore. We're creative. Like again, we're creative beings, so we're created to do that. There's nothing wrong with that. So I love that. And I love when you said there's it's not like they're wrong. That's true. It's not that they're wrong. That's their way and their method. That what does that mean? That means there are tons of other methods.
Right. Yep. So if that method doesn't make you feel comfortable, that's okay. There's plenty of other ones. You can either find a different one or modify it. I modify stuff a lot where it's like,
I
"Hey, this is
notice.
working for them, but I don't really like this part of it. So I'm going to take the part that I do like and replicate that. And then I'll redo this other part or use something from someone else's." It's like, "I like this and I like this. So I'm going to do these two things combined." And that makes me, comfortable.
Right. That reminds me, you are really good at the reverse engineering. We need to have that part of our program too. That reverse engineering element. That is so cool, Monty. That's brilliant, man.
Yeah, that helps me get through a lot of stuff.
Right.
Just that mentality of I'm not able to gain any ground this direction. So, all right, well, let's start from the other side and come back.
Right. Right.
Even in mapping out a journey, sometimes I've used that method. It's like, okay, well, we're going to go on this trip. We're going to end up at the Grand Canyon. It's like, well, okay, well, where are we going? How are we going to get there? It's like, well, so at the Grand Canyon, what's the closest place to that? Okay, well, we're going to be stopping there for sure. So we know we're getting to there. Okay. Now what about, and it just worked backwards and it
Right.
helped because going forward, you're trying to figure out, well, I don't know if I have enough time. I might not
Yeah.
get there in time or be there too soon but you
Right.
work from the other side and you're like, oh, well, I know exactly how much time I'm at. And
Right.
then you get to the starting point and you're like, oh, well, I was going to do that, but I can tell that I won't have time. So
Right.
yeah, reverse engineering is good.
One way you're worrying, the other way you're taking action.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yep. But it's not like, well, that's the way you should do it or that's the
Right.
best way to do it. That's just another
Anyway,
way of doing it.
another way. As my wife likes to say, I like options.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Even if they're not all the best, it's better to have the options and make the choice than be, I had no choice.
Right. Take action with it. Good stuff, Monty. I love this.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Let's talking about videos.
Yeah, well, we've we've
My
we've
thing.
tied it together with videos quite a bit.
Right.
Let's see, what else did I have on my list here? We've already talked about all that good stuff.
It's good. I talked about upper body as well. Well, I kind of talked about that a little bit. Hands, torso. Wow, I feel like a dance. I feel like I'm talking in my dance class.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, we've
Yeah,
tied it all together.
I love it.
Well, then let's tie it together with keeping it simple. How can we take all of this stuff that we've been talking about and apply it without going overboard? Just keep it
Right,
simple.
right. It's interesting. I was talking to my son, and we were making some. He was making some plans, and he had a whole bunch of plans out, which is amazing. He had some great goals, but we talked about paralysis analysis as well. You have a lot of things in front of you, and then you don't get started. So we don't want to leave you guys with that. What I'd say is take about three things, even if you need to take one thing and work with it. Even when we talked about recording yourself and not showing it to the world, record yourself and then watch yourself back. I'll add to that though, have fun with it because we live in a society where we judge ourselves too much, and it's not for the goal of judging yourself. It's about just watching and getting the information, getting the feedback, because that helps you to get better. And that's one thing that a lot of artists do, a lot of athletes do. You watch the replay and things like that. You don't have to get down on yourself. Watch it, enjoy it, and say, "Hey, this is what I loved, and this is what I do differently."
Yep.
And I think that's even the main thing I'd say. And you could take a couple of other things out of that if you want. If you want to accelerate it, take a couple other things. Learn how to use your body language. Learn what that. Start the journey of learning what that means and what that looks like for you. Because I'm not saying, hey, just use body movement. That you don't want to get that information. You don't want to get that. That's not the message I'm giving. You don't want to get that from me. There's a way to do it, and that could be a thing you can do. When you speak, take pauses. Play around with that. And now here's the thing with that. If you take pauses, sometimes here's a thing to look out for. Whenever there are pauses, sometimes people feel uncomfortable. But pauses are really, really good. And they can serve you well if you use it intentionally. And I guess that's another topic for another day.
That is a
But
specific topic. You could talk a lot on
right.
that.
Yes. So that's three things I say.
Well, I'd say for keeping it simple, just be yourself first.
Mm,
Just be yourself. That's the most important.
right.
When a lot of people they're getting to be on video, they're starting to record, and they're like, "Oh, I gotta portray myself in a certain way." It's like,
Right.
no, no, that certain way just needs to be natural.
Right.
It's that the same thing as just tell the truth, because
Right.
you don't have to remember anything that way. If you just be natural, you don't have to remember anything that way. I knew a guy
Right.
once that he'd go to interviews, and it was the only time he ever wore a suit. So he was given a false impression of himself at an interview. So I just be yourself. And then with videos, this is what really helped me. And this got this from Jim's book, from Copywriting Secrets. There, he
Woo-hoo.
says the best way to write an email. Well, that's the best way to make a video too. Do it for one person and distribute it to everybody.
Love it.
So when you're making your video, if you're just starting out, and you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know. I sound stupid. I can't, I'm no good at this. Well, then just make a video talking to your best friend.
Right.
Just telling them about this cool thing that you know, that you want to give them some extra information.
Right.
And watch that. You'll be amazed that it's like, oh, I didn't sound all that bad because I was just actually talking to my buddy and it sounded good. And so then you figure I can just distribute that to everybody else. And a lot of people will resonate with that. And it doesn't matter how good you make it. Some people won't resonate with it.
Right.
So don't worry about those. Just concentrate on that one person, and oh, there's other people like him. I'll reach plenty of people.
Right. I guess, are you saying target audience?
That is
See where I
pretty
went
much
there?
what I'm saying there, but just breaking it down to an
Break it down.
individual person. Of course, yes,
Individual
that
person.
individual person, it would benefit if they were in your target audience. But if you're
Right.
just getting started, don't get hung up
Yeah.
on details like that.
Right.
It's like, hey, I just need to get something out on video where I'm comfortable.
Right.
So I'm going to make it to my buddy. I can show it to them and find out the response. And again, you're in your safe zone. If you're worried about what your buddy's going to say to you, then maybe they're not your buddy.
Right. I love it. I love it. This is great. Vicky says, great advice. I love it. Yes. Oh, you're making videos, Vicky?
It's awesome.
Yes. I
Well, I
love
got a
it.
better camera, so I can start using my hands and
Yeah, just expressing and exploring with that. It's a journey. For me, it's a journey. I'm the way I show up 6 months, 7 months from now, it's gonna be different than how I'm showing up now. And I'm cool with that. It's part of the journey and I'm having fun with it. That's the goal.
yeah, I'm at the beginning. I'm already different.
I love it. Yeah,
I was
Monty,
just
you're
watching one of my first videos from just a few weeks ago, going, "Oh wow, I've obviously grown since then."
oh Monty, you're ahead of the curve. You're on your feet, you're standing up,
I'm on my
that's
feet,
that's
moving
yeah,
around,
that's right.
inflection,
You're
moving
a
into the
beast, man.
camera,
You're a beast. You're a beast, man.
making it happen, having a good time. That's the best part, is I'm just having
Right.
a good time.
I love that. I love that. Creating that feeling, man. Creating that feeling. Good stuff. Anything else,
Cool.
Monty?
We covered that video topic pretty darn good, I'd say.
Nice. I love it. Love it.
Yeah. Any last thoughts for you?
That's all I say. It's just, take from this whole video, take those simple points that we made at the end. Because for some people, it's like, oh, this is okay, I understand. For other people, like, this is overwhelming, and we want to be able to make sure that you have that support, even from this video. So take some simple, easy steps for yourself and get the victory. Take some action, though.
I was there 12 months ago. I'd make no video. I'll use
Yeah.
little video creation, doodly tools or whatever, and make explainer videos, but not me.
Right.
But now, I save a lot of time making videos.
Right. Right.
I seriously, save a ton of time now just making a video, posting it, rather than trying to write out a script or write out a thing and find a picture and make a post. And wow, I was amazed at how much easier making videos actually is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting too with those. I'm a fan. Like, I geek out about some of this technical stuff. I love this stuff. And those are very helpful, like Doodly, and I have Doodly actually, and there's Vidly. Is it Vidly? Did I say it right?
There's
Different ones.
Toonly and Voomly
Toonly, Voomly,
and
Zoomly, and
Doodly.
Goomly.
Toonly and Doodly. That's
I'm
right.
saying all these names,
Yeah.
and those are really helpful. I'd say at the same time too, with that, people can get it. People can get a feeling from cartoon examples and things like that. It's powerful. There's no one else like you.
Nope.
So showing up as yourself, I'm a fan of that because there's no one else on this planet like you. No one who has the same fingerprints as you. So you show up like that, you're yourself and having fun and being yourself, like you mentioned. That's powerful. And you just got to keep going and keep developing. And that takes time. It's different for some people, but it's powerful.
Well, we've been taught, with traditional business, to try and appeal a little bit to everybody. And so that's where the explainer videos and stuff come in. It's like, hey, I don't want to put myself up there because I might not appeal to certain people.
Right.
But in reality, if you put yourself out there, you're going to resonate deeply with more people, or maybe not with more people, but the people that you do resonate with, you will resonate with more deeply than you would across the board, and you'll have better results than trying to just connect a little bit with everybody.
Right. Right.
And that's from my own personal experience with my local service business.
Yeah.
When I tried to communicate with every last single person, I was okay across the board. But when I narrowed down, I had people that were just diehard loyal fans.
Right. I love it. And Vicky says something. She says, I'm kind of primitive with equipment, but I'll improve. That's right, Vicky. You keep going
Yeah,
for it, my friend.
practice makes perfect.
Practice makes perfect. Yep.
Although with
And
technology, as soon as you get it perfect, they change it. So that's okay. It's
too.
perpetual practice. That's what technology is.
Monty, that's another topic right there.
Yes, it is.
I get an amen on that. Love it.
All right.
I think that covers everything, Monty.
Well, it covers everything. So if you're wanting to start out on videos and you're really, really scared and you're not confident and you need someone to help you guide your little bit there, where should they go, Carl?
They should go to carlaleen.com. I'm a presence coach. I love working with people to help them to be their best self, to show up as their best selves.
Nice.
And Monty, question for you. If people need help with their presence on web presence, they need web development, they need training and done with you or done for you services, where should they show up at?
Well, they can start out at techstrongdomains.com. All starts with a domain.
All starts. Ooh, I like that. It all starts with the domain.
Yep. And if you already have one, that's fine. You can fill out the content or the contact form there and hook up, and we can discuss the next step from there.
That's right, because they got some next steps.
Yep.
Well, there you have it.
There
Get found,
be seen.
get found, and be seen. That's right. All right, everyone. Take care. Have a great week. I hope this inspired you. I think we had someone else say something as well. Yes, Vicky. Thank you. And amen to you, my friend.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks for joining. Take
Have a
care.
great week. See you next time.